Hey guys, hope you all have been well. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on Tom Ford eyeshadow quads. And in light of my no buy and taking my collection more seriously and making it more personal, I wanted to provide some sort of insight into brand collections and letting you guys know my thoughts on what would fit certain preferences. So Tom Ford has a series of eyeshadow quads, and the cost of these they're very pretty penny. So I do have quite a few here with me, and I will link my swatch video to my Tom Ford quads down below. I did the swatch video some time back, but here we're going to be talking specifically about the preference. So check out that video for some up close swatches. We're going to begin with the nude dip quad, and there's two reasons why. First of all, it is the quad that I have on my eyes. I did use all four of the eyeshadows as well as a bronzer as my transition shade. Now in my last declutter, I said that I didn't want this eyeshadow quad because it was cool tone. Because I don't naturally gravitate towards cool tone palettes, let alone an all shimmer one, I felt like I was ready to let this go. But as I was putting the final touches in who I was going to give the products to, I kept going back to this and being like, I'm not ready to let it go. I'm not. So I put it back into my collection, and I'm glad that I did. Now I would say like this is a shimmery cool tone person's like ultimate quad, and much like a lot of luxury brands, I find that they are predominantly a shimmery type of finish. They do have mattes occasionally, but if you're gonna look at it as a whole, you're gonna find more satin to shimmer shades. And the best way to describe this palette, in my opinion, is for those of you that regularly wear a everyday smoky eye. You have your traditional smoky eye with the black, the charcoals usually on the matte end, but if you want something a bit more bright and a little more toned down, this is the palette for you. Those of you with office jobs that kind of have a certain aesthetic that they like to portray, something very professional but not too makeup heavy, I think this is the quad. Again, this is what I have on, and I find it to be a very work appropriate, generally, type of look. I'm so happy I didn't let you go. I wasn't ready, my love. I wasn't ready. The next one here is Honeymoon. The reason I'm putting or clumping these two together is because there's two separate types of quads that you can find from Tom Ford. One where the eyeshadows are they just look like traditional eyeshadows, and then you have these type here, kind of like a baked, I don't want to say gelée, but maybe that type of formula, and they do have the TF embossed in them. So I would be careful in looking into the actual pans because there is a difference. This quad gives me a beachy nighttime feel. You have two types of like a golden bronze. You have like a rosy reddish shade here, and then this deep purple. I would say this is more for people with medium skin tones, where they can use it very regularly. These are not quads that you're gonna pull out, every year on a special occasion. You have to make use of them because of the price tag. So if your go-to look is a bronze or a rose and a bit of smoke to that, this is the quad for you. And again, it will lay very nicely, very everyday for people with tan complexions. I get such a like sunset sultry beach vibe with this quad. Okay, here we have Cognac Sable. If I am not mistaken, if memory serves me correct, this was my first Tom Ford eyeshadow quad, and this is still one of my favorite ones. I have never used this quad and not liked the makeup look that I came up with. And I think that's something to note when it comes to these eyeshadow quads. Although they're very pricey, I think the combination, the strategic choices they put into these four shades, it's perfection. Like they do go very well together. I would say this is your smoky bronze. This is exactly what it is. Now this is one of the quads that is not embossed. So with these quads you can find shimmers, your traditional shimmers. You can find mattes, very rare, but you can find them. And then you have these eyeshadow toppers. This is an example of their eyeshadow toppers. Everything here has a bit of shimmer to it. These eyeshadow toppers are not going to come off opaque. but the iridescence and shine and almost wet finish that they give onto the eyes is my absolute favorite. Sometimes I do an eyeshadow look and I feel like I want it to have a little bit more pizzazz. I just reach for one of these and just dab it onto my eyes and it just pops. It takes it above and beyond. But if you like a bronze smoky eye, here is your eyeshadow quad. Here we have Golden Mink. This is another popular quad. As you can see, it is very, very light in tone. The darkest shade that you see here is a neutral brown, and it's a medium tone shade as well. So if your makeup preference, your everyday wear, stops at a medium shade, here you go. And the great thing about this particular quad is that these two shades up here, this one is more satin, I would say, and this is more metallic. They run very neutral shades. So you can just like pop them on the eyes, just these two together, and they would be perfect. But you also get these two different options on the bottom of those topper shades I just spoke about. You have one that is peachy, and this more golden yellow. So you can play around with your everyday looks by using just these two or adding these on top like every other day. Okay, the infamous Coco Mirage. This is the only eyeshadow quad from Tom Ford that is predominantly matte, which is very rare to find with these luxury brands. Okay, this is a very simple explanation. If you are into browns, like mid-tone browns, variations of browns, brown is your everyday color, which for a lot of people it still is. This is your quad. You have three matte shades here, and those are these three shades here. These are all matte. This one is a satin shade. It's a purple brown. It's got a bit of sparkle in it. But these three shades alone, and then maybe popping this to make it a bit more smoky, a bit more darker, heavy with like a lid look, you can do a lot with this, and you can do the bare minimum with it as well. This will probably be the easiest to finish up, and the reason I say that is because more people, I'm not saying all, but most people would rather have an all matte look than an entirely shimmery look. I guess it's more socially acceptable to have all matte looks. And if you're wanting to spend money on trying out a Tom Ford, but you know that you have a specific style and it's, I don't want to call it basic, but using it in the makeup sense of basic, like here, you cannot go wrong with this eyeshadow quad. Next up, we have Seductive Rose. When I look at this quad, I don't think of rose. I actually think very purple, very lilac with a pink shift or blue shift. And so here we have two of those topper shades, one kind of leaning blue purple, and then one kind of a pinkish purple. You have a deep purple here to smoke it out, and then a very beautiful, like soft satiny cream color with just the slightest bit of like a lilac shift in it. Now, traditionally with colors like this, I do like to have a matte option as a crease or transition shade. But a lot of us, if you're willing to fork up money for this, you probably have forked up enough money with other makeup palettes and you have a transition shade, a matte one, to go along with this one. I would say that this is another cool tone quad, but not quite like a strong cool with the grays and with the silvers. You've got a more colored spectrum of cool tone shades. And lastly, we have Disco Dust. Whenever I see or look at this quad, my mind goes to Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk quad. Now, it is not exactly the same. It is not by any stretch of the word. I think the product, the actual eyeshadow look, at the end of the day, it's kind of got that same scheme to it. Every time I look at this quad, I think of Victoria's Secret models, like the runways that they do. It's always got this like hint of pink, this shimmer, and this smoke. So you have these three shimmer shades and then this topper shade. Oh my goodness. It is, this and the one I previously showed you, the one with the blue shift to it, they are my top two topper shades. They are so good, so stunning. Here's what I have to say about this quad. Now, you know the type of makeup look that I think this will produce. The good and the bad thing about it is that, let's start off with bad. It's hard to do various looks with this because your eyes automatically, or for a lot of us makeup wearers, there's a certain look that you create with these types of colors together. There's a certain look, and it's hard to deviate from there. The great thing about this quad is that you will use every single one of these shades every single time. The 4 shades were thought of very well to complement each other, to the point where it's like you can't really do a look without all of them. And that concludes this video. Those are my thoughts, my ideas for those of you out there who are ready to bite the bullet, make a purchase, but maybe not quite sure on which one you want to go with. Again, the swatch video will be linked down below. If I can, maybe I'll try one of these card things. If it doesn't show up though, I will be linking it down below if you wanted to see more up close swatches and kind of see what I'm talking about, along with having a visual to go along with it. I really do hope that this helps you out, because you're gonna spend quite a pretty coin on this. It is expensive, but for me they were well worth it, well worth the investment, and I did not buy them all at once. So I hope this helped you make the right choice for your Tom Ford purchase, and if you did enjoy this video and would like to be updated with future ones, I hope you decide to click on the red subscribe button down below. Also, this makeup look can be found on Instagram. First link in the description box down below. There I will post a photo of this makeup look with a full list of products in the caption. Till the next video, I hope you all are doing well, taking great care of yourselves. I will see you all next time. Bye guys.